Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all would be doing well. As far as we have started the content of business writing, and in our last class we have studied about what is a memo and the different types of memo. So in our today's class we are going to study about how to write a memo. What are the best possible way of writing a good memorandum? The very first question that comes into our mind is that how to write a memorandum. So here is an answer to this question, that if you are writing a memorandum, then you have to construct a very complete, well structured and formal message to your co-workers, so that they would be having an idea that what type of memorandum you are circulating and what is the basic purpose or message that is laying behind it. In your memorandum, you have to use easy, formal, as well as professional language to save the time of coworkers. If you use a formal or professional language, then the coworkers would be at ease to understand the basic message that is underlying in the memorandum. Keep your information brief, accurate, and precise to avoid any kind of ambiguity. You have not to encode a lot of information in your memorandum that would be just giving an idea of repetition, and it would make your reader or your co-workers at an uneasy nature, so that he would not be having a complete idea about what is the basic purpose of writing a memorandum. So you have to keep your information very brief, accurate, and precise to avoid any kind of ambiguity. There are three basic things you have to add in your memo, and these are: the very first is heading. What is heading in code? It is basically the four basic elements that a heading entails in a memorandum, and it is to, from, date, and subject. In our next slides we will be having all of these in detail. The second basic thing is body. As its name is suggesting, that it is a complete message or complete purpose that is under in the category of memo is there. It is an opening statement or context of the message, or call to action and task statement. The last thing is close. Close is the closing of the memorandum. It is that you have to sign off with a good close. You can add reference initials, enclosure notations, and copy notations in the close of memo. So these are three basic things you have to add in your memorandum. It is heading, body, and close. So let's have a look on the format of writing a memo. When you are writing a memo, you have to opt this structured format for the very basic purpose. It has to, from, date, subject, body, passage or passages if there are many, additional elements like reference initials, enclosure, and copy notations. So it is the format of writing a memorandum. Let's have a detail about all of these elements in for better understanding. That what does to mean in a memorandum? To in a memorandum addresses for whom the memo has been written. It is for which type of population you are writing a memorandum. For example, if you are writing a memorandum for John Robert, and who is a manager of materials, right? The memorandum is being written for John Robert, who is a manager of materials. So two addresses for whom the memo has been written. Next is from. What does from mean in a memorandum? From in a memorandum addresses who is writing the memo. Who is writing the memo? For instance, the memo is being written by Smith Frederick, who is buyer, and here you are writing the initial, reference initial of the person who is writing the memo. Like it is SF for Smith Frederick. So these are the reference initials that you have to write at the very first of the memo in the section of from. Next is here, what does date mean in a memorandum? Date in a memorandum addresses specific month, date, and year when a memo has been written. Like it gives an idea that what was the date when that very specific or particular memo was being written. Date is to be written in the formal pattern. You have to write the date in a formal pattern. And do you remember that what is that formal pattern? It is that you have to write the month at the first, then write date, comma, and then year. Here is what does subject mean in a memo. Subject is a memorandum is addresses for which purpose the memo has been written. It is very important to write. Keep in mind that subject in a memo serves as a memo's title. This title gives an idea or give a clear identification about the purpose of writing a memo. The reader would be having a complete idea that for which purpose the memo has been written by some specific person. Like subject of memo must be focused, specific, precise and well worded according to the purpose. You have not to write a very lengthier purpose or the title of memo, because it would give a sense of ambiguity to your reader. So keep it precise or well worded according to the purpose. Like here is an example: meeting with part supplier. So it is very focused or specific title that you have constructed to give an insight to your co-workers about the basic agenda of memorandum. Next is here, what does body mean in a memo? Body of a memorandum is a message itself that talks about major details and events in the form of here are some different basic points. Like in the body you have to first write about the introduction. Introduction is issue or main idea for which purpose you are writing a memorandum. Next, it talks about the statement of facts. What type of facts or figures you just want to quote or you just want to address with your co-workers or with the other members of your business organization. Then here is an argument. If you want to put on an argument and if you want to show that what type of argument has been placed or has been done with some members of the business community or organization, then you may quote that argument as well. Then here is a conclusion. Then you have to write the proper conclusion of your memorandum, that what type of things have been ended up. While writing a body passage in your memo, keep in mind that you have to add double space between each paragraph. If you are using two paragraphs, I mean if you have written the two paragraphs, then you have to add double space between each paragraph. Write message in simple language and quote authentic information. You have to quote authentic information which would be clear without any ambiguity or any irrelevant information. You have to avoid wordiness and repetition. Do not keep on repeating the same thing, because it will just consume more time of your co-workers, and in the business setting time matters a lot more. So you have to write your memo or the body of the memo in two paragraphs. Next is here, what does close mean in a memo? Close of a memorandum means clear closing action stated in the last paragraph. It is not like that close of letter writing which has a signature block or a name or complimentary close. It is different from that letter writing. You can add certain things if necessary for your memorandum, like you can add reference initials, you can add enclosure notations or copy notations. Just have an example over here to have a complete idea or good idea about the close. What does it mean in a memo? I have set up 2 appointments with 2 other suppliers for tomorrow afternoon. Perhaps I will have better luck then. So this sentence is giving a complete idea to the reader that the memo has been closed, and what is being decided at the end is also clear over here. If you want to add some copy notations over at the end of memo, so you can write it like this, like CC and then colon and Elizabeth, accountant. So the copy of this memorandum has been sent to Elizabeth, who is the accountant of that organization, of that business community. So it is the close in the memorandum. It was all about the memorandum. Now have a look about what is a clear or proper sample of memorandum. Here is 2. You have to give a title of 2 and then write it is like in this way: John Robert, manager of materials, and from whom memo has been written, Smith Frederick, buyer, and then SF in reference initials of that person. Date, what was the date, formal pattern of date, then subject, then write the body paragraph. Here is the body paragraph in 2 passages. One passage is giving us an introduction, like my recent meeting with Hal Johnson, salesman for Consolidated Metals, was not productive. He told me that his company finds it necessary to increase its price on size 24 volts by $3.39 a gross and on size 49 screws by $2.89 a gross. In addition, he cannot guarantee immediate delivery. I have set up 2 appointments with 2 other suppliers for tomorrow afternoon. Perhaps I will have a better luck then. So, in the first paragraph, how he has given us an idea about the introduction or the very basic purpose, and then about the facts and figures that have been counted on. And then in the second paragraph, here is the conclusion, and again the CC, that is copy notation Elizabeth accountant. So it's how you have to write a memo. It is a sample memo. You can write your memo for your better practice. If you are having any problem or any question, you are more than welcome to ask. Thank you so much. Be at ease to ask any question and relevant to the topic. Do like, comment, share and subscribe for new videos. Take care. Thank you so much.